On Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the man who murdered an Edna cheerleader learns his fate after a plea deal. Those details are just ahead. Next year's midterm elections are around the corner. One candidate makes a stop in Victoria to share his goals. Plus, the latest on the U.S. economy, what experts say the new data suggests.
And yesterday, I'm pretty sure you noticed it wasn't scorching hot for the first time in a while. That's thanks to a cool front that blew through, bringing us average fall weather. Highs in the 90s, low 90s, and lows in the 60s. All that weather coming up.
And Victoria's battled the New Braunfels Unicorns last night for some Thursday night football. I'll give you the highlights and the final score later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Friday morning. We got a little bit of a cool front, a little taste of a cool front this week, and I'm hoping for some more of that this weekend, but the heat is still on.
Yeah, the heat is still somewhat still on. We're looking for more highs in the low 90s, but it is right where we're supposed to be this time of year. Average high is about 89, and our average low is about 68. And guess what? We're going to be looking for that for the next few mornings. And actually, the big question this morning is, will we hit the 60s or not in Victoria? Because it's 71 right now, and we still technically have about 30 minutes left until the sun really starts coming up to heat us up. But 71 right now in Victoria, dew point still 70. You're probably like, Parker, what front? It's still warm and humid out there. Well, I promise the front is still technically blowing through us right now with a light northerly wind. You can see northern counties are in the upper 60s already, but everyone else low 70s, maybe even mid upper 70s next to that warm Gulf water. But I promise behind the front, they're in the 50s and 60s in North Texas, so not too bad of a morning. And you can actually see right where that cooler, drier air mass is right here in our northern counties. I think that's going to continue moving through before the sunrise comes up. So temperatures yesterday, well, is a little bit warmer than I was thinking. We got to the low 90s. That's thanks to the front that got here a little bit later than I was thinking. So we're going to be looking just like that today. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, packing those sunglasses, it's going to be sunny and a tad warm. We'll have those details next.
The man responsible for the death of Edna cheerleader Lisbeth Medina nearly 2 years ago now knows his fate. Rafael Gouveia Romero pled guilty to murder and aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, with a life sentence for each count. He'll serve those sentences at the same time. As a condition of the plea, Romero waived his right to appeal. Romero could be eligible for parole after serving 30 years. In a separate hearing, he also pled guilty to the burglary of a habitation, in which he'll have to serve 20 years. That sentence won't start until he has completed his time for the other two offenses.
I don't think he deserves any of my words. He doesn't deserve that just because I won't give him the power to have that. He's going to jail, and I'm free. And regardless whether he got the punishment we wanted for him, he's still going to jail. So he doesn't deserve any words from me, but if I had the chance, I would say you didn't win.
Before the hearing, friends and family gathered in a prayer vigil in honor of Lisbeth, who was just 16 at the time of her murder. DPS is investigating a 5-vehicle crash in Wharton County that involved a Wharton County Sheriff's deputy. It happened Wednesday morning on Highway 59 near FM 1163. Troopers say a Wharton County Sheriff's deputy driving an unmarked truck failed to control his speed and rear-ended a pickup truck. That truck flipped, hit a car, and pushed it into a flatbed trailer. The deputy's truck kept going, left the road, and hit a tree. The deputy was flown to a Houston hospital and has been released. The driver of the pickup, 48-year-old Jessica Portales of Corpus Christi, was also flown there for treatment. A trial date is set for a Victoria man facing 5 federal counts of money laundering. Jason Ashley Brannon had a pretrial conference Thursday morning at the federal courthouse. Brannon was arrested on the charges in May of last year after a Drug Enforcement Administration and IRS sting operation. According to a court affidavit, he's accused of laundering $610,000 through his companies, J&B Cleaning, High Tech Service Company, and Hills and Lawn Tree Service. A federal grand jury indicted Brandon on the charges in June of last year. A jury trial is scheduled for November 3rd. Election season is kicking off across the state, and one U.S. Senate candidate made a stop in Victoria Thursday night. James Tallarico is hitting the campaign trail early, hoping to connect with voters ahead of next year's race. It was a packed house in Victoria as community members gathered to hear from the Senate candidate for the Democrat nomination. In his speech, Tallarico focused on the issues he says matter most to Texans, making housing more affordable, strengthening education, and expanding access to health care.
Despite all of our differences and our disagreements, we all want the same things. We want a safe neighborhood. We want a good job with good benefits. We want a high quality, well-funded public school. And we want the ability to see a doctor when we need one. And that transcends party lines. It transcends race, it transcends gender, it transcends religion. It is really what brings us all together. That's what I'm focused on in this campaign, is uniting Texans so we can take power back from those billionaires and bring it back to our communities.
Tallarico says visits like this are about connecting with voters and listening to communities he hopes to represent. The primary is March 3rd, with more campaign stops expected before then. New data shows that the U.S. economy grew more than thought in the second quarter. Revised GDP data from the Commerce Department puts second quarter economic growth at 3.8%, higher than the most recent estimate of 3.3% and the strongest reading since the third quarter of 2024. Economists say the data suggests the economy is still fine, despite the slowdown in the labor market growth. President Donald Trump signed an executive order in the Oval Office Thursday, paving the way for a TikTok deal that could transfer majority ownership of the app to Americans. While it appears the terms of the agreement are set, it will likely take some more time for sides to close the deal as they hammer out exact legal and financial points. The president says the support of China is very important to the deal, and Chinese President Xi Jinping has given his stamp of approval. Texas counties, including Victoria County, are struggling to process voter registrations using the state's new system. Officials say they are working hand in hand with the state to make the system work. The new team system was installed in Victoria in July. It comes as elections approach. On November 4th, 17 state amendments are on the ballot, along with collective bargaining rights for Victoria firefighters and whether to add sales tax in Bloomington. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's take a look up here at our clock. It is 6:37 on our Friday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. An unresolved case continues to touch lives years later.
The Justice Department brings criminal charges against former FBI Director James Comey. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details and reaction this morning.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it's going to be another kind of warm day today. So coming up next, I'll tell you how warm I think it'll be near you, and we'll look at your football forecast.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from the Victoria Fire Department, Nazareth Academy, Discover Victoria, and we learn about a reunion in Bloomington.
Well, it's an all-class reunion, so anyone that's ever graduated from Bloomington is welcome to be there. Right now, I do know we're going to have someone from the class of 1950 there.
Wow.
Which was the first graduating class in Bloomington.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday. It's weekend time, y'all. Get excited because we got lots of high school and college football coming our way both today and tomorrow. And before any of that gets here, I want to let y'all know the weather today is going to be pretty similar for the next few days. We're looking for lots and lots of sunshine. So That means if you're headed out the door, go ahead and grab your sunglasses. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. But also in the morning time, just the morning, you see on the future tracker, there's a couple showers right here. I want to let y'all know there is a very, very, very low 5% chance to see maybe 1 or 2 showers out there somewhere before the entire day. The rest of the day, here's noontime, it's going to be looking pretty sunny out there today. So if you have some sensitive skin, maybe apply some sunscreen. We do still have a very high UV index, but also make sure you grab your sunglasses because it'll be a bit bright out there. And that beaming Texas sun today is going to bring us up to about 91. I'm thinking here in Victoria, which look at this, it's only 2 degrees above where we're supposed to be. Average high this time of year is 89 degrees. Average low this time of year is 68. And look at that, the low temperature is going to be 3 degrees cooler, I'm thinking, tonight than what we're supposed to be. Everyone else should be looking about the same. Low 90s for highs today, maybe mid 90s in our western counties. So y'all stay safe. It will be just a tad hot out there, but it is average fall weather nonetheless. And you can see lows tonight also looking quite nice. Low and mid 60s. And it is Football Friday, the game of the week. It's another big one. Tidehaven Tigers versus Wallace. In Wallace, not too bad of a day actually to be out there at the game. Warm, mainly clear. And we're going to be just like that for the next several days, looking like fall. And we'll look at that next.
All right, Crossroads. Last night we had some Thursday night high school football action for Victoria East Titans. They traveled out to face the New Braunfels Unicorns. Out there in New Braunfels, and East is looking there for their first win of the season. But the Unicorns, again, they got the offense going right away. How about the run here starting for number 26, Brock Stewart, and that would lead the charge starting up there for the Unicorns. They would take the early 7-0 lead here in this contest. And the key for this game for New Braunfels, we kind of noticed, was, again, the running game was getting well. And also they had a good balance of their passing game going there, and it was tough for East to stop on the defensive side. And speaking on over to the offensive side, they didn't really get going. Look at this hit right here there from Ronnie DeSoto, number 8 there for New Braunfels. Gets a big time there on the new quarterback in charge, Xavier Valdez. And just East offense really wasn't getting going the entire night. And again, for New Braunfels, their offense was on the entire night last night. Again, Levi Jula finds number 0, Caden Mills, for the touchdown. It'd be 21-0 at that point for New Braunfels, and they would not look back, with the final score in this game being 42-3. The Unicorns would get the victory over the Titans, and for Victoria East, they're officially, again, 0-5 right now for the season. They're going to be off there next week on their bye week before they host another Thursday night game at home, though, against San Antonio MacArthur, and they're looking to kind of turn the page because that will be homecoming week there for the East Titans. This is Max Williams, 25. News Now Sports.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, a federal grand jury indicts former FBI Director James Comey on allegations he lied to Congress. Sources tell ABC News this comes just days after President Trump urged the DOJ to take action against his critics. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details.
This morning, an unprecedented move. The Justice Department bringing criminal charges against former FBI Director James Comey, a dramatic escalation after President Trump called for his prosecution. Comey now faces charges of making a false statement and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. The former FBI director posting a video overnight claiming his family has paid the price for standing up to Trump.
My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
The indictment comes just days after President Trump issued a public demand, calling on his Justice Department to act now to bring prosecutions against his perceived political enemies. The president now denying pushing prosecutors to charge Comey.
They're going to make a determination. I'm not making that determination. I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so.
But Democrats say Trump is weaponizing the Justice Department.
It is unconscionable that we would have a president of the United States direct his attorney general to criminally charge a political adversary of his when the evidence is so clearly not there.
The investigation relates to Comey's 2020 congressional testimony about Russian interference in the 2016 election. Sources tell ABC News prosecutors had presented the new U.S. Attorney for Eastern Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, with a memo recommending Comey not be charged with the crime due to a lack of evidence. But sources also say in another highly unusual move, Halligan presented the charges against Comey directly to the grand jury herself because other prosecutors in the office refused refused to attend, given their reservations about the case.
These are serious felonies. He does face up to 5 years in prison.
In a statement, Halligan writes, "The charges as alleged in this case represent a breach of the public trust at an extraordinary level." And FBI Director Kash Patel writing, "No one is above the law." Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you agree with Trump's plan to take action against his critics? 67% of you say yes and 33% of you say no. And we do have a comment. Let's see. Well, we'll continue with the show. Just come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Saturday will mark 9 years since a Bloomington mother lost her 11-year-old son to a hit-and-run crash. The case of Kevin Garza remains unsolved to this day. Kevin's mother, Darlene Chavez, has committed some efforts to keeping his legacy alive through philanthropy and her thrift store, Kevin's Closet. In May of 2024, Bloomington High School honored his memory by allowing Chavez to accept an honorary degree during what would have been his graduation ceremony. On Saturday, 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman will honor Kevin's story during the 10 p.m. newscast. The time is now 6:47 on our Friday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, a significant boost is coming to local organizations dedicated to veterans. And it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Ambry. Happy 18th birthday, Ambry. We wish you the very best and hope you have an amazing day. Love from Mom, Dad, Everett, Tyler, and all of your family and friends.
Happy birthday, Ambry, and also happy birthday to Drake. Let's go. Howell Wildcat snapper from the 7A football team, Drake. Jersey number 67. Happy 13th birthday. All day snaps, Papa. We love you.
Happy birthday to Beverly. Happy birthday, Mom and Granny, from Ryan, Deidre, Rylan, Maddox, and Brenna.
Happy birthday, Beverly, and happy birthday to tennis legend Serena Williams. She's turning 44 today. Happy birthday, Serena. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:48 on our Friday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us.
Happy birthday to Doug.
Oh, yeah. Also happy birthday,
Doug.
That's right. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast that I just showed y'all just a few moments ago, and you probably saw what I was talking about, how our weather is going to be just about the same thing every single day, and it'll actually be just about average this time of year. You saw the almanac earlier. The average high is about 89 here in Victoria, and the average low is 68. So we're going to be pretty close to that for the next several days. Highs in the low 90s, some in our western counties in the mid 90s, and low temperatures in the mid and upper 60s. Some might even be in the low 60s for tonight, so y'all get out there and enjoy that. But our weather is going to be just about the same over the next several days, thanks to a few factors out there. First of all, showing you the upper air tracker. It's because of this. You see this kind of omega shape in the Greek alphabet right here? Omega shape right there going all the way across the southern side of the screen. That is, it's what's called ridging in the upper in the atmospheric science world, also in the upper atmosphere. That just means that we're going to be looking at lots and lots of sunshine for the next several days with a stable atmosphere over our heads. But that might change a little bit as we go into next week because there's going to be a low pressure system. Where is it? It's right here, actually. This is Tuesday. There's going to be a low system that's currently over California right now that'll move over the Rockies, and it'll bring us a little bit more of a northerly wind vector on Tuesday. And that will keep us in the low 90s instead of heating us up a little bit more underneath the sunshine to the mid 90s. And going all the way into October, we're going to start watching the Pacific because there's going to be lots of big low pressure systems coming out there, probably bringing us our next big fall cold front. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
Golden Crescent Habitat for Humanity is getting $300,000 to help local veterans. The money comes through the Housing for Texas Heroes program. It covers home repairs, modifications, and weatherization for veterans and surviving spouses. The grant is part of a more than $4 million the Texas Veterans Commission is handing out to organizations across South Texas. In Victoria, the community celebrated Hispanic heritage and honored those making a difference. The De Leon Club of Victoria hosted its annual Hispanic Recognition Celebration at Texas A&M University, Victoria. They honored 3 individuals for their dedication and service. The evening included food, fellowship, and a presentation recognizing the honorees' commitment to improving the lives of others in the Crossroads.
And also I believe in teaching our younger generation to volunteer. That's really what my main focus is. It's giving back, but also teaching the younger ones that you have to lead by example. And that's my mission, my personal fulfillment.
Organizers say the celebration is not only about honoring individuals, but also about continuing the club's mission to support and uplift the Hispanic community in Victoria. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A region on edge with uncertainty looming and countless seeking refuge. Israeli attacks across Gaza have killed at least 83 Palestinians and wounded 216 over the past 24 hours. The Israeli bombardment of Gaza continued into Friday after Israel struck houses and tents in central and southern Gaza on Thursday as international pressure for a ceasefire continued to grow. Israel launched another major ground operation earlier this month in Gaza City. More than 300,000 people have fled, but up to 700,000 remain. A new massive tariff on some imported drugs will start taking effect next month. On Thursday, President Donald Trump announced brand name or patented drugs will be subject to a 100% tariff. The tariff will not apply to drug makers who are building manufacturing plants in the United States, and the president did not mention levying tariffs on generic pharmaceutical imports. Hundreds of current and former VA doctors and nurses and other caregivers have issued a warning to the Department of Veteran Affairs. In a mass letter sent Wednesday, the VA Secretary Doug Collins, the group warns of the negative impacts of the agency's recent staffing cuts and moves to outsource care to private sector doctors and healthcare facilities, saying it will harm veterans. They say it will undermine the VA's healthcare system and overwhelm the budget. Record high beef prices are causing some restaurants to rethink their menus and raise the price for beef dishes. The USDA reports as of July, the average retail beef price was $9.69 per pound, up $1.23 from the same time last year. The surge in beef prices is blamed on short supply. Many farmers have small herds after a drought last year led to many selling off animals. A wave of massive data centers is expanding across the state, prompting warnings from experts who say the new water demands could push the state's already strained supply to the brink. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, how's it looking?
Well, that sunrise, as I was just telling you a second ago, is looking beautiful out there this morning. Don't believe me? Look at this, y'all. Look at all of the colors out there on your screen. We've got some pink. We got some purple. I think we actually got the whole rainbow out there right about now, if this the screen is showing me the right colors here. But the big question is, are we in the 60s yet? No, wow. Actually, the computer just updated on me because literally 2 minutes ago, it was sitting at 70 degrees, but it looks like we've officially hit 60s in Victoria at 69 right now. This computer is showing exactly what I was just looking at. It says 71 right here, but this is out at the airport in the city. It's about 69. You can see Northern County is starting to break into the 60s as well, whereas North Texas, we're real jealous of them. they're in the 50s and 60s this morning. But that's thanks to the clear skies that's allowing for radiational cooling to take place. You can see just how crystal clear as a glass across Texas. That means it's going to be sunny today. High of 91 in Port Lavaca. About the same thing in Victoria, 91 as well. Beaming Texas sunshine, and the same in Cuero, 92 today. And the weather's going to be just like that for the next several days. So finally, say hello to fall. Finally.
All right, well, thank you all for being with us this morning. Join Shannon, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. And don't forget about CFL. Make it a great Friday.